All right, we're going to finish up lesson 6. Um, Previously, we made this half of the encasing, including the handle and this. I don't know, I forget what they're calling it, but it's a casing for the internal mechanics. And what we're going to do to finish it off is we're going to mirror it over the XY plane and then touch it up using bevel and then also give it thickness, because right now, uh, if we look at it, it's got no thickness. It's just a line. So we need to add some wall thickness to it. All right. So let's get it back like that. Exit out of my data panel. And here we go. So continue with the file. If you haven't already done so, use the browser to turn off visibility on the canvas. Okay. Click Modify and Flatten. And this tool allows you to flatten selected vertices onto a specific plane. So navigate to the model's right view and box select all the vertices on the flat side of the body. Rotate the body to make sure that all the intended vertices are selected and no additional vertices were accidentally selected. Let's keep going here for a second and then I'll get started. In the control panel, choose the select pane option from the direction drop-down menu. And for the plane selection, choose the front plane or the XY plane. Click OK in the control panel to flatten the selected vertices. Okay, so let's see. Let me take a look here. If I take a look at it from the right side, we can see that there's a couple of vertices, this one in particular, and well, actually all of these, they don't lie on our y equals 0 or our xy plane. That would be, sorry, z equals 0. So what they're having us do is select all of the vertices. Just a sec here. Before we can select anything, actually we need to go into edit form. So you can see in our timeline here, there's just a ton of different steps involved. And so we're going to swing all the way over to the right, and we've got our form here, which is the case itself. We're going to right click and click edit. Okay, so now, and that should get us back to a more familiar look with all the different panels and such. Okay, back on the right side, now we can select vertices as we want to. So we'll go ahead and select them first. Now I want to show you something. If we click and drag to the left, you get a yellow box with dotted blue lines. And if you drag down and to the right, you get an orange box with a solid blue bounding line. And I might have shared this earlier on in the lesson, but I'm sharing it again. If you drag down to the right and get that orange box, you're only going to highlight the segments that are fully inside of this box. Okay, so in this case, these panels and these segments and points, they were the only things inside that box. I'm going to click escape and I'm going to do this again. Now, if I click down and to the left and we have the yellow box, it's going to highlight everything that it's touching. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be fully inside it. Only if it touches it or intersects it will it highlight it. So we're going to see that a lot more panels with the same box are going to be highlighted. See, at the beginning we only had these two, and now we have all of these because they all intersected a point or a region or a portion of that yellow box. So in this instance, we're only going to want to use our orange box because we're going to have to click and highlight all the right segments, right side segments, without highlighting anything else. And so we want to fully capture everything on the right side, which we've done here, but we don't want to capture anything else. Then we're gonna go click, we're gonna go modify. I believe flatten. Yep. And we're gonna do select plane, as they had mentioned. And we're gonna select our XY plane. And you see that adjustment was made where the few segments that weren't on the XY plane now are. And I click OK to make that happen. Now if we go back to the right side, you'll see that everything lies on the XY plane, and you can actually see where it used to be in like a wire, like a wire form. All right. Now that the saw's handle geometry is finished, it needs to be mirrored to the other side to complete the shape. So click Symmetry, Mirror, Duplicate. For the control panel's mirror plane selection, expand the browser's origin folder and choose the XY plane. Okay. Modify. Actually, hold on. Symmetry, mirror, duplicate. We're going to select the body first, T-spline body, and then the mirror plane, which they've said they want us to go into origin and choose XY. And boom. So you can see now that our form has been mirrored over our XY plane. Click Modify, Move, Copy, and select the form body. Activate the Create Copy option in the control panel, and then use the on-screen manipulator to drag a copy of the form body to the side and click OK. All right, so we're going to go Modify, Move, Copy, which there's a lot of different. Here it is, down here. Oh, or you can just click M. So we'll click M. All right, and we're going to select this guy. And they mentioned they want us to do activate the Create Copy option. Okay. Okay, here it is, down here. Create copy at the bottom, this little check mark. All right. And then use the on-screen manipulator to move the copy off to the side. So if you don't click the Create Copy option, you're just going to be moving this original piece, and you wouldn't get another piece coming off of it. So we'll do that, and we'll call that good. Click Modify Edit Form to open the Edit Form tool. Select one face on the body and use the on-screen manipulator to adjust it. Notice that the adjustment is mirrored to the other side of the body. Click OK in the control panel and then use the browser to turn off the visibility for the new copy. All right, so let's see. Modify Edit Form. Let's click on just this panel and let's narrow it just a little bit. You can narrow this one as well. This is a really nice tool because it continues to mirror across our XY plane, which is what we would want in the case of, say, chiseling this handle or making it more ergonomic. Just like that. All right. And click OK in the control panel, then use the browser to turn off the visibility for the new copy. Okay. So if we scroll out, we can see that body 3 is this new body, and we want to turn off the visibility here. Okay. Select an entire edge loop on a part by double-clicking on an edge, and then click Modify Crease. And it looks like they're having us modify the crease that's going to sit just left of our XY plane. So there it is, and you can see that it's highlighted on both sides, again, because we have the mirror. Click, let's see, and click Modify Crease. Oh, I unselected it. Modify Crease. Click the OK, click the OK button in the control panel to crease the selected edge, and then inspect the result in the canvas area. All right. That took us back one step just so that we can see the difference in what we're doing here. So I've highlighted again, modify, crease. So we can see that it kind of snaps to just a different angle, and we click OK. So we can see now if I go back, undo crease, and then forward, we can see kind of what that tool does. It adds kind of a geometric crease or edge to the segments that you've highlighted. Click Modify Bevel Edge, double click on the crease edge you just created to add a bevel to it. In the control panel, increase the segments to the value 2 and then click OK. The crease edge is now beveled with a feature that is 2 faces wide. All right, so Modify Bevel Edge. Okay. And I believe they said to make segments 2. And click OK. All right, so we've added a bevel to it, and there's 2 panels comprised in that bevel, which, let's go like this just to make sure, and that we've got this kind of the same thing going on. I'm actually going to exit out of that. We've got 2 panels here surrounding our XY mirror plane, and we've got 2 panels here that are comprised of that chamfer or that beveled edge, and then from that we go to our rounded, back to our rounded kind of more ergonomic part of the handle. So this right here is the bevel chamfer that we just made. The saw's form is currently a surface and has no thickness. However, this form can be thickened inside the form workspace. So click Modify Thicken and then select the form body as the control panel's T-spline body selection. Okay, so we're going to zoom out just a little bit, and we're going to do Modify Thicken. And as the T-spline, we're going to select the full body, and they want us to enter a value of 1 millimeter for this thing. And you can automatically see that it's made, well, it hasn't physically made that adjustment, but it shows you what that adjustment's going to look like. Down here, you can see the wire view of what would happen if we clicked OK. All right, so that's all we have to do here. We're going to click OK, and that'll turn from a wire view to solid, and you can see now that we have a wall thickness to our form, similar to shell command in our other environment. Okay, we're going to turn on the visibility now to internal mechanics. Computer has to load. Okay. And here's where we want to make sure that everything fits inside the case that we just made, which if we followed the instructions properly, it would, but it doesn't. Maybe they want us to go through and practice this. So you can see here that this part of the internal mechanics, whatever it is, sits outside of our case. So we're going to need to go back and fix that somehow. Okay, so we're seeing our main issue is right. Our only issue actually is right here. So how are we going to fix this? We're going to first turn off our internal components view. We're going to go to modify, edit form. And now that we have a thickness to this piece, we have to highlight all the inside and outside panels if we want to modify a certain section without, say, changing the wall thickness. So if I were to click here, right, and just and click out in the Z, you see that it increases the wall thickness because we haven't selected the inside as well to move it out by the same amount. So I'll go back there and I'm going to hold Command, and just the spot that is that we're concerned with for, see that right here. I mean, that's the only spot that we really care about. But I'm going to select these upper panels so that we kind of bring the curve, so it's not so sharp, if you will, at this point. So I want to bring this panel out just a little bit as well. Let's highlight. You got to highlight these edges too. The panel is what I'm trying to. There we go. And that guy. Okay. And I'm going to come in here and come in here, and you can see also that it's being done on the other side because of our mirror plane. Okay, I've highlighted everything that I want. Let me rotate just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to turn this guy back on. And I'm going to bring this out just enough to sit inside. Okay, you can see now that it sits, the internal mechanics comfortably sit inside. We've maintained our wall thickness, which is good. And there is a little bit, difference in our shape here. If we look at the overall shape, maybe you'd come back through so that it doesn't have this kind of bow to it, or maybe you'd keep it the same. Maybe it doesn't matter. Point being, here we have successfully encapsulated all of the internal mechanics, and so we have a sufficient housing solution for the saw. You can play around with it and get the shape, the right aesthetic that you want beyond this, which I won't do, but you do it in the same way that we just moved this outer wall. To accommodate the mechanics, you just simply select all the panels, both inside and out, that you want to move, and then move using the modify edit form tool. All right. I think that concludes lesson 6. Navigate to the home view and click finish form. Use a browser to turn off the visibility for the surface body and the bodies folder, and save the design and continue to the next module. All right. So finish form. And that's that. We've made our housing. Oh, wait a second. We've got an issue in the back here too. I didn't even see that. So we got to go back and fix that. Okay, so we have to go back and fix the handle just a little bit. And it looks to me like we are going to want to take pretty much this whole part of the handle and scooch it back just a little bit. Or better yet, we might be able to move. No, you know what? We can move the entire form back, and this should sit better inside the handle. So I don't know that we need to even change the outer shape at all. And I'm guessing what we can do, let's see. The best way to do this is going to be to hit M on your keyboard, um, or you can go to modify move and oh, come on. Anyway, select the, that's not playing nicely. My computer's tweaking out. All right, come to move. We're going to select this body and we want to move it back in the X. Click OK. And let's zoom back in. Make sure we're all the way inside, which we are. It's hard to tell with that wire view. I'm going to click finish form. Yeah, so we're no longer running through our walls there. So we just had to move it back a little bit. And that's good. Cool. Now I'm happy.